This is TWiT.
We're talking a little bit about AR, about VR, and kind of talking a little bit about Meta, because I think when I think of kind of modern VR, and it looks like AR is becoming a bigger kind of part of Meta's business with this new announcement. But when I think of modern VR, they're the big shining example of it in the room. Notably, Mark Zuckerberg has focused the company that was once known as Facebook onto the metaverse by naming it Meta. And I don't know, is the jury still out, or have we decided that was a poorly timed move on Mark's part? I don't know. It feels like the metaverse is a couple of years hype ago and not now hype, but maybe we aren't to the point at which he envisioned.
Well, so my beef with the whole thing was that the metaverse was a word from fiction, and it always was a dystopian nightmare, always a bad thing. He dusted it off. I looked at the Ngram viewer over the decades, since the 80s or 90s, whenever it peaked out, and it had declined in usage in the English language to less than half of where it was. It was a dying word. And then he resurrected it, and the press, the tech press, bought it hook, line, and sinker. Clearly, the use of metaverse was designed to go hand in hand with the renaming of the company to Meta, right? So that it appeared that they were like the future of VR/AR. And then he rolled out this vision of saying, okay, it's going to be the AR VR version of the internet, one space for everything and everyone, open. Nobody's going to own it. Meta's not going to own it. And then as soon as he said that, everybody forgot that he said that. And now every little 2-bit third-rate VR thing is a metaverse play, right?
Yeah.
I don't understand why everybody followed his lead into the use of the word metaverse, but everybody did. Or most commentators did, in fact, follow him, and he got away with it. So I guess it's kind of a brilliant move on his part.
Yeah, right.
It's the same way Apple made everybody say a tablet is not a tablet, it's an iPad.
Yeah,
right.
Or a podcast is named after the iPod.
Yeah, so today, I guess there has been the Meta Connect event, where a lot of their kind of next initiatives for the company are announced, and were often presented or given some insight into the next hardware. And this announcement was no different. We got the Meta Quest 3 being announced, a new headset, $499, October 10th. Improvements include a higher res display, so it features a dual 2064 by 2208 pixel display. That compares to 1832 by 1920. So a notable
Google Glass
improvement. Jeez. What's that, Jeff? I missed that.
And they laughed at Google Glass.
I mean, this is a highly different product from what Google Glass ever was.
Yeah, the difference there, Mr. Jarvis, is people are staying at home with these, not with Google Glass.
They're not embarrassing themselves in public.
Well, maybe they will, because this is a mixed reality headset. This includes 2 outward-facing color cameras, like on the Quest Pro. So they call it the first mainstream headset built for mixed reality. I don't know that necessarily means you're going to see people walking out and about, on the streets with a Meta Quest 3, but I don't know.
And of course, that is Addie Robinson. I recognize the lower half of her face.
Yes, indeed. She's talented with this stuff. I always love talking to her about the new VR hardware that she's testing. Yeah,
and I have no problem with the fact that, of course, VR headsets are going to be as bulky. The weight is a bigger problem than the ugliness of them and the size, but that's no problem. The problem is that people don't want to live in VR for hours and hours and hours, and that was part of the original vision of the metaverse. It was just like, you'll get up, it'd be like Ready Player One. You get up in the morning, you put them on, you go to school, you go to work, you do all this, and it's like, nobody wants that. And
that kind of sounds like a nightmare to me.
Yes, But they did come out with their camera glasses, which is to me a much more interesting.
So you're talking about the Meta Ray-Ban? Are these the camera glasses?
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. So you mentioned this earlier. You probably know a little bit more about these smart glasses than I do, because I haven't had a chance to read up on these. What other than Ray-Ban? What are they?
Well, so these are, they already have a version of these. I forgot what they're called, but they retired the branding on that, and like you say, these are called the Ray-Ban Meta smart glasses. These are a vast improvement. So what they have is they have 2 cameras in them. They cost $300, and the idea is that you can talk on the phone. They have supposedly have really good sound. They have you can live stream to Facebook or Instagram through the glasses. Which is going to be really a big deal. I think a lot of people are going to be live streaming through these things. And then when people comment during the live stream, their comments will be spoken to you audibly while you're wearing the glasses. So you can be interacting with your audience as you're live streaming. So that's a really interesting development to me. Their microphones are way better than the other ones. The other ones had 1 mic. These have 5 mics, including one in the nose bridge. And so hopefully they have gotten to the point where the audio quality in both directions, going out and coming in, are going to be much better. The cameras are 12 megapixel cameras, and they do take 1080p videos. And I just think this is a great product. I'm totally getting it. I think it's I wrote a piece about this a couple months ago based on the rumors of this product. And one of the things that I miss about Google Glass is the ability to take pictures from my face, because I think that's I always felt like that's an actual distinct medium that gives you the actual view of what you see better than anything else, better than smartphone camera and stuff. So I'm looking forward to buying and using these, actually.
Yeah, I completely agree. I mean, that was my absolute favorite quality of Google Glass, was that you could record video from your perspective or take a photo from your perspective. That was nice. But recording video, I mean, I recorded my second daughter's first steps wearing Google Glass, and I can go back to that video and watch her walking towards me, and it gives me chills thinking about it, because it takes me back to that memory, because that's exactly how I remembered seeing it. And I remember your video of that event. So this is this is a great medium, right? This is a great medium, and I'm glad that, I think these glasses will be a lot more socially acceptable. And I don't know, I didn't see the announcement, but I know that the leaks indicated that it has a light on it that shows when it's recording, and if you put tape over the light or you disable the light in any way, it won't record. Nice.
Again, don't quote me on that. That information comes from Peak. But I think that's an interesting attempt by Meta to make them more socially acceptable, so that people know when you are and are not recording.
Yeah, when you're recording, according to the Verge article, a white light around the lens pulses to indicate you're recording. So yeah, I think that's important. I mean, I think you have to have that on a something like this. Otherwise, you're begging for trouble. You're begging for pushback at this point. That's for sure.
But this does open a can of worms, though, right? Because even if Meta does this, some other Chinese company or something is just going to make the same thing that doesn't tell you when it's recording.
Yeah, if they're not already, or if they haven't already.
If this becomes like a consumer product, exactly. But if it becomes like a regular product that everybody has, then that becomes a problem. No?
Those are going to exist too.
You can buy a lapel pin camera now. You can right.
Yeah, but I'm saying, but if this becomes like a regular consumer object that everybody actually has, then everybody is going to be doing that.
Yep.
And that's a problem, isn't it?
I mean, it's
what they said about Google Glass too, though. I mean,
where's Google Glass now?
A New York Times columnist.
It's a technical difference from the reality that we all live in, which is that people are recording video and pictures with their cell phone cameras everywhere all the time.
Yep.
And we're in them. Like, you go to a restaurant and somebody's going to take your picture, right? Mm-hmm. They're going to take a picture of the food and the restaurant and the room and all that stuff, and you're going to be in it. And then something like Facebook or Google Photos is going to recognize your face, and it's like we already live in that world.
Yes.
And to put the camera from here on my phone to here on my glasses, really not that much of a difference.
It makes a difference when you're talking about stuff like the bathroom.
But see, that's wait. I had this argument with a New York Times columnist who complained about Scoble going to the bathroom. I said, nobody wants a picture of your junk.
There are people.
We deal with that with society. And we'll deal with it here. I just don't think that's going to happen.
I do think it's a reasonable prediction to predict that people, if this gets popular, the Facebook specific product becomes as popular as they hope it will, that they will be blamed for this problem of invasion of privacy, even though, as we suggested, they're trying to be the more responsible party and have the blinking light. It reminds me of the Apple AirTags, where people are notified that there's an AirTag with them, and then they discover that somebody planted an AirTag on their car, and then people are like, "Oh, Apple, you're evil because you're doing it." No, actually, Apple's the one that's telling people that there's a million different cheap third-rate 2-bit trackers that you can buy on the internet for very low price, and they've existed for decades. But Apple's the one that came along and starts notifying people when they're tracking you. So, I think all a company like Meta can do is have the blinking light and try to be responsible about notifying others in the room that you're recording.
Yeah.
We renegotiate our norms around these new things. We will.
Yeah, cover their tracks.
And if you have a friend who comes into the bathroom and does this, they're not your friend anymore.
If they come into the bathroom and their glasses are blinking, you need to cover more than your tracks.
That's true. That's true. But I don't think anyone, I guess I push back a little bit, Jeff, on the everybody will get used to it. It's not going to be a big deal. Because if I was to go into a bathroom with a full camera setup, like a blatant full camera setup, and go into the bathroom and there's somebody else in there, I think people would get pretty pissed.
Well, they're telling you not to do it. It's just like in gyms. In gyms, people said, don't take your phone into the bathroom, into the changing room.
Yeah.
That became the norm. That became the what we renegotiated around this, because phones suddenly had cameras. And so things changed. And we'll do the same thing, and we'll figure it out. We're okay. We've gotten through wars and pestilence. We'll figure out.
We'll figure it out. I think I think the other side of that, though, is that these glasses like these, we're finally kind of getting to the point where smart glasses actually don't look like pieces of technology as much as they used to. They used to look blatantly like technology on your face, and now they're starting to get to the point to where these things, you got to look really close to actually know that there's technology in there. So, yay for progress, because we've been wanting that out of smart glasses. But that is one of the downsides, is that there might be glasses that do have the technology, that are capable of recording, and that you can walk into a bathroom and someone doesn't automatically know that that's a camera the way they would if I was walking into a bathroom like this. Yep. And the social rules would bust me on that and tell me not to do that, and I would respond. If the glasses don't clue anyone into anything like that, well, bad things will happen inevitably.
Yeah, there are billions of smartphones with cameras. There are new cameras popping up everywhere. If you're Lauren Boebert and you go to the musical theater, there's going to be a camera on you. There's cameras everywhere, not the bathroom, one hopes. But, to Jeff's point, people could bring their cameras into the bathrooms, and they don't. I've never seen it, anybody taking pictures in a public restroom. It's just not acceptable socially, right? So, I think we'll figure it out. But one way or the other, there's no escaping the reality that the number of cameras will keep growing. The places that they'll be installed will keep growing. They'll be on people's persons. There'll be lapel cams. There'll be hat cameras exist. The glasses. They're going to be cameras everywhere all the time, and so we're going to have to learn to deal with it. In the meantime, I think it's really interesting that we basically have a new medium in the form of the Ray-Ban Meta Smart glasses, which is glasses that live stream and have two-way communication between the live stream and the audience of the live stream. I think that's really interesting culturally. I could be wrong about that, and I could be wrong. I think these would be pretty popular, and I could be wrong about that. But I think they're going to be Instagram influencers who are going to be all over this. And and I just
also doesn't sound like there's anything new, though.
What I like about it is that it's a form of live streaming that isn't, hey, look at me. It's like, hey, look what I see. Look what I'm experiencing.
Hey, look
it's
at my
kind
world.
of an old-fashioned idea, right? Because we used to take pictures of
just
what we saw, and now we take pictures of
TV,
ourselves.
Just in TV. That's the first thing that I thought of, and like I said, I don't see that being a bit of a culture shock, because I think people would still do that today if the equipment was easy for them to do it.
Yeah. I mean, there's a whole genre of this on Twitch of people with the backpack cameras. You know what I mean?
There you go.
Yeah, so that's a whole genre already. It'll just make it a lot easier.
Yeah. Yep.
Oh, Justin TV. I remember that era.
Hey, I think we were working together at CNET at the time when that came
we were
out,
working together at CNET at the time. That's right. I think he even came in for an interview, and I remember him walking to the studio, and of course he was live streaming the whole thing, and he had his whole cyborg rig on.
And everyone was like, "What's anyone want this for?"
Totally. And now everybody apparently everybody's an influencer. We've all got reason to use this. I mean, is the like we know the story pretty well of Google Glass, and Google, I think I would say Google kind of was a little too far ahead of the curve, right? Like they had to make the mistakes so that others could succeed is my take on the Google Glass thing. What about spectacles by Snap? Because that was kind of like
that didn't work so well.
Yeah, but I mean,
well,
they've had multiple generations
extremely
of it.
Weird looking.
Yeah, they are weird looking. They kind of leaned into the weird looking thing, and then maybe that worked for a while and then stopped working. But yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
I'd be curious to see if this works for Meta, I guess is my point, because I remember when the spectacles happened and it was like, well, maybe Snap's onto something. Maybe Google took the lumps so that Snap could succeed, and now it's just like it seems like it's more a toy than anything. And curious to see if that's the direction that it goes for Meta, or if Meta's actually able to kind of turn it into something more.
Come join us on This Week in Enterprise Tech. Expert co-host and I talk about the enterprise world, and we're joined by industry professionals and trailblazers like CEOs, CIOs, CTOs, CISOs, every acronym role, plus IT pros and marketeers. And we talk about technology, software plus services, security, you name it, everything under the sun. You know what? I learn something each and every week, and I bet you will too. So definitely join us. And of course, check out the TWiT.tv website and click on This Week in Enterprise Tech. Subscribe today.